Okay, so let's start with the warm up. So shake out your wrists. Arms. Now use your knees and bounce and let your arms relax. You can turn to the side. Turn to the other side anytime you'd like. And swing your hips. Relax your arms and just let your waist do the turning. And windmills. Reverse. Circle your hips. So this one we're keeping our pelvis pretty much flat. Reverse. Feet together, suck in your knees. You can twist to the sides if you like. And reverse directions. And stand back up, ankles. Reverse. Make sure you feel that stretch. And switch feet. Reverse. Okay, feet together, lock your fingers. Inhale, reach up, and exhale. Now inhale, twist to one side, exhale. Inhale, twist to the other side, exhale. Switch. Inhale, exhale. Switch. Inhale back to the middle. Now lean to one side, exhale. You can use one hand and pull on the other wrist to get more of a stretch. Inhale, Lean to the other side, exhale. Switch. Switch. Inhale back to the middle. Relax your arms. Now reach down, exhale. Just let your arms hang, and then you can shake your hips, loosen up the lower back. Okay, bend your knees and try to keep your feet flat on the ground. If you need to, you can spread your feet apart a little bit. Now up on your toes. You can add a little bounce if you'd like. And then now take your forearms, place them along your knees, and try to spread your knees apart to open up the hips. And turn to one side. Other side. Back to the middle. Put your hands on your thighs and slowly stand back up. Okay, so let's loosen up the shoulders. So you're going to bring your shoulders forward, and then up, back, and down. And forward again. So inhale as your shoulders come up. Then as they go down, exhale. Okay, now reverse direction. So you bring your shoulders down, back, and up, forward, and down. So inhale as you open the chest, then exhale. Okay, now alternate shoulders. So one goes up and back, then down, and then the other one. Still inhale as the shoulder comes up. Good, now reverse directions. Okay, and just relax everything. Okay, so now we're going to make circles with our hips, but it's going to be a little bit different from what we did before, keeping the pelvis flat. Now, each time I'm bringing my pelvis to the back, I'm also tilting down a little bit to the side, and when I get to the front, then I'm tilting back. So see if you can try to control this movement. Try to make it as smooth as possible without any jerking movements in between. Okay, reverse directions. Now make your circle smaller and smaller until it's a single point. Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions so far? Raise your hands. Not? Okay, good. So now we're going to get into the spine wave. And because I'm not sure where everybody is from, we have people from all over the world today, which is great. Some from Boston, some of our online students, Quebec, Portugal, Poland. So this is really great to have such a global community come together. Okay, so with the spine wave, I'm going to start by sitting on the floor. So feel free to keep standing if you'd like. If you're not able to get on the ground, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Actually, yeah, sure. Actually, I will use a chair. Okay. All right, so if you're going to sit, see if you can feel your sitting bones making contact with your chair or the ground. Okay, it's fine if you want to stay standing. That's totally okay. Okay, so with the spine wave, I find that a lot of students struggle with it because they're moving their hips or their knees in a way where they're not supposed to be. So I realized that because we did the spine wave from a sitting position pretty much every day, that was something that helped me a lot. And it's something that I wanted to share with my students as well. Okay, so as you have a seat, feel that sitting bone making contact with the bottom of your chair. And then now just tilt your pelvis back. So as you do that, you're going to feel like you're rolling on that sitting bone. So if it's here, it's kind of be rolling back and forth. Okay? So as you tilt back, then now tilt forward. And try to move one vertebrae at a time. Remember to breathe. So inhale as you start the wave, and then exhale as you finish. You can make the wave bigger and bigger. And you can also twist to the side. So feel free to do 1 or 2 on one side, then you can switch to the other side, back to the middle. Just make it your own. Okay, good. So if you're in a chair, we're going to get rid of it for now. Okay, so for those of you who are sitting in the chair, did you feel like it kind of helped with the spine wave motion? Getting good. Good. Right, so sometimes when we have the feet, then, or when we add the legs, sometimes people end up bending the knees a lot, or they keep moving their hips a little bit too much. So I find that by sitting in a chair, it allows us to focus on the wave itself. Okay, question for Rachel? Just 1 second. Go ahead.
Great. So I feel like when I'm sitting, I wind up almost leaning more than I feel like I do when I'm standing. Is that just I'm not noticing it as much when I'm standing? Like, is it okay to kind of be like shifting back and forth a little bit when I'm sitting?
So that's a good question. And the basic rule is you don't want to feel like you're straining your back. So you could be making a bigger, you could be leaning a little bit further when you're sitting on a chair versus when you're standing. If you lean too far, you're going to lose your balance very easily. So it's more, just notice it in yourself when you guys are doing the spine wave, how far you can go before you feel like you have to grab on. So you shouldn't get to that point. Right?
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Anybody else? Carlos, 1 second. Go ahead.
Hey, I just have a question about the breathing. Like every time you inhale and you exhale, or it doesn't really matter? I don't know. You can check.
That's what we generally do. So you notice as you start one wave or as you finish one, you're already starting another one. So usually we start to inhale here, and as the spine wave travels up to the chest, then we exhale here. Okay. So we're going to continue doing it for a little bit from a standing position now. Okay. Okay. So get comfortable and then start the wave again, and try to keep in mind what you just felt when you were sitting. Okay, now bring the wave all the way up to your chest. So here you're going to feel your chest bow opening up a little bit more, and then your shoulders will be moving and your elbows will also be following. Just make sure that you don't lift your shoulder up. Okay, so try to keep this feeling in mind. I'm going to go back to it a little later on. Okay. Now relax your arms and let the motion continue out. Inhale, palms are facing up. Then as I exhale, my palms turn. For those of you with experience, feel free to twist your hips to go to the sides. So Alex, slow down a little bit with that motion. Yeah. And watch out with bringing your shoulders or your arms back this way too far. So you want to make sure you still maintain that connection here. So you don't want to bring it too far back that way. That's it. Okay, good. So for this next portion, I want to continue on with White Crane Qigong, but because I'm not sure of everybody's level, I'm going to split it up. So if you have a fair amount of experience, you can continue to go freely with the different patterns if you'd like, and I'll be looking at you guys periodically. And if this is something that's newer to you, then we're going to break it down a little bit. Sound good? Okay, so first of all, twisting the hips. So make sure your weight is distributed evenly on both feet and just twist from one side to the other side. Okay, what we want to avoid is shifting from one foot to the other foot. So just twisting from the hips. And make sure it's coming from the hips, it's not just the upper body. So the hips are turning one side, other side. Good. Okay, now chest bows. So we have 6 bows in the body. Everybody should know them. 2 legs, 2 arms, their chest, and the spine bows. Okay, so now try to close your chest. So imagine you have something kind of pressing in the sternum or a string attached to your back and somebody's tugging on it. So you arch your back. That's it. And try to avoid moving the shoulders too much. So it's just the chest and spine bows. Okay, so now we're going to add it with the hip twist. So twist to one side and close your chest. Back to the middle, open. Other side, close. Open and close. So watch out for using your shoulders too much. Yeah, so just try to focus on the chest. It's a very subtle movement. Okay, good. Now we're going to have one hand on our center or our dantian and put one hand in front out this way. So for me, I'm just using one of my fingers to point. And now I'm going to turn from one side to the other side, and I'm letting my arm follow. So I move first from my center, and everything else follows. Okay, so just watch out for some of you guys that you don't want to stay rigid with the arm. So if I change the angle just a little bit, so you'll see I'm starting to turn with my center and then everything follows and it's still going. And then I'm starting to turn the other direction with my center and then it follows. So there should be a little bit of a delay with the hand. That's much better. Good. All right, now try the other side if you haven't already. Okay, good. So now with that, I wanted you guys to feel the motion starting from your center and then slowly moving up through your upper body to the hands. All right. So even though it starts here and ends here, there's still that connection, but it's not rigid this way. When we talk about softness in Tai Chi, usually it's about moving or starting to move one section of the body one at a time. All right. In order to have that softness. Okay, so now we're going to switch to straight back flying. So this is part of White Crane Qigong. And I believe most of you guys are already familiar with this. Okay, so it's very similar to what we just did with the single hands. Remember to start the motion from your center, close the chest and spine bow, and then feel them open. And then the movement follows out your arms. You can also vary the height, so you can be up a little bit higher. You can stay down low. You can even go diagonal, one high, one low. Okay, relax for movement. Now we're going to go single hand again, one hand on your dantian. And now we're going to go up and down with the other hand. So close the chest and spine bow and then open. And switch hands. So Alex, this is more a simplified movement right now. Yeah, it's just up and down this way. So the elbow's not moving too much. Try to feel the movement starting from your center. And then as you open up your chest and spine, then the hand follows. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go back to White Crane Qigong, forward and backward flying. So make sure you have your spine wave, and now let that motion come all the way out your arms. Okay, slowly bring your hands down. Okay, anybody have any questions? Raise your hand. Everyone's good? Okay, good. So now we're going to switch gears and move our legs a little bit. Okay, so let's see. If you have not done any Tai Chi before, you're not familiar with our stances, then I want you to start with what we call 4-6 stance or sudobu. All right, so from the front view, my front toe is lined up with my back heel, and both toes are slightly angled to the side. Okay, so it's called 4-6 stance because 40% of the weight is on the front leg and 60% is on the back, and hips are slightly angled. Now from here, you're going to push off your back foot to shift most of the weight to your front leg. Now hips are forward. This is mountain climbing stance or Dong Sanbu. Back and forward. So when we use these two stances together like this, we call this rocking. All right, switch feet. Okay, now I'm going to change view. And now I'm going to go from mountain climbing stance, facing one direction, turn my front toe in, back toe out. Now I'm facing the other direction. And I switch again, front toe in, back toe out. Make sure you turn the hips all the way. And try to stay the same height all the way through. Okay, I think most of the people that I see, at least you guys are already experienced with this, all right? So now from here, we're gonna shift all the weight to the front leg and then bring the back foot in. So I'm still keeping the weight on my left leg and I'm just sliding my toe in without dragging it. Okay, then step back and switch to the other side. Load all your weight to your front leg and bring that back toe in. And switch. Try to stay the same height the entire time. Okay, if you're familiar with this, then after you bring your back foot in, lift it up for golden rooster stance. Then you can put it back down or you can step back, your choice. Okay, now you guys, if you want to, you can add a kick. So you can do ramble kick, straight leg in, then bend the knee and step back. If it's too much for you, then you can just go back to the stances. Okay, good. Any questions so far? Everyone's good? Okay, great. So the next thing I want to get into is a little bit of coiling before we go into the form. All right, so we're going to start with one hand on top of the other. And so I have my left hand on top, and I'm going to turn to my left side and drop my right elbow on the inside of my arm. And it's going to climb over to the top, and I'm back in the middle. Now I'm going to turn to my right side, drop the left elbow, climb over the top, and back to the center. Okay, so each time I'm going, I'm twisting my hips and I'm closing my chest and spine bow. Back to the center and other side. Okay, good. So now we're going to go yin side. So as I drop my elbow, now my hand is on the outside. Then back to the center and other side. Okay, so make sure you keep that arm stationary, the one that's on top. So as you're coiling around, that one's not moving at all. Good. All right, another thing is when you drop your elbow, you want to try to make sure it's about perpendicular to the ground. So I'm dropping all the way and climbing over. Okay, so it looks like most of you guys have this, and we also have a tutorial video on our YouTube channel, which we'll share with you later if you want to go back to this drill or see it more in depth, because we have some close-ups on that. Okay, but I think most of you guys already have some Tai Chi experience, so we're going to move on to the form. All right, okay. So let's start from beginning posture. We're only going to do a couple of movements at a time because I know everybody's a little tight on space. Okay, so let's start with our hands on the tabletop. And we're going to do this posture a couple times as a warm-up. Okay, so hands flat, dantian height, about shoulder width apart. So you're going to start your spine wave, and that's going to initiate the movement to make your hands turn in. So if I come in a little bit closer, I start and my hands turn in, palms facing each other. So think of this as a very small young direction coil this way. Okay, it's only 90 degrees. Okay, so you start and turn, palms in. Again, reset. So start your spine wave, palms turn in. Now let that spine wave continue up. When you get shoulder height, let the wave go out your arms and you do a slight yin coil. Okay, for now, just hold your hands up there. Okay, from the side view, my palms are facing each other, and I let that wave go up, and then my palms face down. Okay, so remember in the warm-up when we did the spine wave, and we had it go up to the chest, this feeling right here. So you can feel your shoulders are rotating and they're bringing your elbows forward. All right, so it's a similar motion or feeling, except you have your hands out there. Okay, so try it a few times. Start with your palms facing each other. Start the spine wave, feel it go up, and then allow your palms to turn down because the wave is just traveling through your arms. Start the spine wave, goes up, and then out the arms. Good. So let's put it all together. All right, so starting with your hands down. When you're ready, begin the spine wave, palms turn in. Let the wave travel up, shoulder height, And continue out the arms, palms face down, and let everything sink. And start a new one again. Palms in, wave travels up, out the arms, palms down, and now sink. And repeat it a few times. Okay, so Alex, just watch out for your wrists being tense this way when they come up. So some of you guys as well, pay attention when your arms are coming up, that you make sure that everything is relaxed here. So if it's facing down, then you'll be tense here. Okay, so basically align with your forearm here. So try it again. So palms in, keep them relaxed, and then out, palms down. Remember to breathe. Chest in, inhale, palms down, then exhale and sink. Okay, good. So any questions so far? Because even though this is the beginning posture, I personally find it to be one of the most difficult ones. And personally, when I do my practice, sometimes I'll just start with one hand and I'll repeat it over and over until I get that feeling, and then I go with the other hand. Right? So trying to fit that spine wave in this motion and trying to keep it nice and small, it's really difficult. All right. So if you have any questions or if you're struggling, just be patient with yourself. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, good. So now let's get into the form. Let's see, I'm gonna face this way so it'll be more of a follow along, okay? So we'll just do a couple of postures at once. Okay, so get ready, hands on the tabletop. I think everybody here knows the form, at least the ones that I can see, okay? So begin, start your spine wave, palms in, up, palms down, sink. Then turn to the right, drop that elbow, and then push off your back foot, and we'll stop there for now, okay? Let me see you guys do it. So from the very beginning, so begin. And palm, grass sparrow's tail to the right. Good. So I just want to see everybody's structure here. Okay, so the way we've been doing it is we have the left hand on the right forearm and the middle fingers are lined up this way. There are other variations as well. Just keep that in mind. And you want to make sure that the angle is not too flat this way or too close in this way. So nice and open, and you have a nice palm structure here. Okay, so as you are turning into that posture, again, everything comes from the center. So your center is going to drive your lower body as well as your upper body. Okay, so let's start again and go a little bit further. Okay, from the beginning, start your spine wave, hands come up, they flip and sink. Grass sparrow's tail to the right, shift the weight, kick, step back. Then we have palm in the middle, hands hold the ball, drop your left elbow, grass sparrow's tail to the left. Okay, so check your ending position. Make sure your right hand is about dantian height. It's not far behind you. It's kind of lying next to you this way. Okay, let's go again from grass sparrow's tail to the right. Actually, let me do it this way so you guys can see. Okay, so after I kicked, I step back, hands hold the ball, then drop your your left elbow and grow. Okay, one more time. So we kick, step back, hands hold the ball, drop your left elbow, and split. Okay, so when you guys go into grass sparrow's tail to the left, see if you can feel that connection between your back foot all the way out to your left arm here. Yeah, so you feel this chest and spine bows are closed, push off from the leg, turn the hips, open the chest and spine bow, and everything should split open this way. Lian. Okay, so one of the 8 energies here. From here, I'm splitting with my upper body, but I'm also splitting with the lower body. Okay, I'm pushing off from my back leg to go forward. Okay. Good. All right, so after we finish that part of grass sparrow's tail to the left, we're in mountain climbing stance, right? So we're going to continue turning our center just a little bit to the left, and then we're going to round out that left arm this way. So it was up, then the palm is now facing down. Okay, so think about leading your elbow to the wall. So I palm up and then palm down, but it's all connected to my center here. Okay, so I want to end up with this nice round structure. My arm is about shoulder height. Good. Okay, so that's the left side or left hand. Now the right hand just relaxes a bit. So I was here, I keep turning, right hand relaxes, and then there's a strike here to the groin. Okay, so we strike and then we kick. Okay, step back, hands hold the ball, and then we go into pong. Okay, good. Any questions so far? No questions? Okay, good. Just stop me if you do. And again, this is for everyone that I can see right now. You guys already have some experience, which is why this is not so much for beginners. It's more of just polishing what we already have. Okay, so I know we're tight on space, but let's try to go from the very beginning all the way up to where we were in pong. Okay, so I'm going to face this way again. Hands on the tabletop. Relax. Begin your spine wave, palms in. Arms travel up, palms down, sink. Grass sparrow's tail to the right. Kick. Step back. Hands hold the ball. Grass sparrow's tail to the left. Keep turning, home. Strike the groin. Kick. Step back. Hands hold the ball into pong. Good. Okay, so I just want to go into pong a little bit more in detail. All right, so we can reset with our hands hold the ball. So you have your left hand up, your right hand down. 4-6 stance here, and then shift to mountain climbing stance. Okay, 4-6 stance, mountain climbing stance. Okay, for now, let's relax that left arm. So let's focus on the right arm here, and we start with the chest and spine bows closed. Okay, now as you push off from your left leg and you open the chest and spine, see how that opening motion naturally brings your right arm up to where it should be. So back, Close the chest and spine bows. Shift forward, then open. Back and open. So Manuela, just watch out for 4/16. It looks like your hips might be a little bit too forward, like facing the camera. So make sure it's only 45 and then completely forward. Question for Deanna?
I am confused about, you say open your chest bow, but we're supposed to be in hung. I thought hung was supposed to have this.
So that's a good question. So we start off closed here, and even though it's slightly open, we're still rounded here. John, do you have anything to add to that? Okay, so we're closed here. As you're opening here, it's not completely open back this way, so you can still have that roundness in there. All right? Okay, so now let's relax the right hand and then focus on the left hand. So we're starting in 4/6 stance. Chest and spine bows closed. And now as you shift into mountain climbing stance and you close the chest and spine bow, the left hand goes into place. So it's open, it starts up high, then you close, oh sorry, it's closed. As you start out high, then you open, and then it comes down low. So closed and open. Okay, now let's add both hands back in together. And I'm going to come in a little closer because you guys already know the legs. So 4/6 stance to mountain climbing stance. Okay, one thing to watch out for is sometimes people lift their right shoulder this way up here. So we want to try to remember to keep it flat and focus more on the chest and spine bows doing the work, and the arms follow. And everyone just check your ending position as well. Make sure that if you imagine an opponent the same size as you, your right forearm should be behind their elbow this way here, and then your left hand should be at their wrist. So this way here. So you don't want it to be too wide, you don't want to be too tight in here.